everyone, it's Melanie Henson here, Craft Warehouse at Coleman's. Today we're going to, I was just going to show you a little really cute, quick little project to do. If you're a bit stuck for what to paint, sometimes we get a bit of artist block and we think, oh, I don't know what to paint, and also we don't maybe have a lot of time to sit down and do a whole painting in one go. These are really nice little bookmarks. You can use them as bookmarks, or otherwise you can frame them up once you've painted them. So this is going to be a starry night sky with a bit of forest at the bottom. So I need to tape off, you can see I've drawn my outline, but I want really clean edges. I don't want my paint to run into the rest of the paper. So I'm going to use a bit of masking tape to just mask off my edges. And what I do with my tape is I usually I actually do it on my clothes or some piece of fabric that's got a little bit of fibers on, just to take off the extra stickiness of the tape. I don't know if you can see, there's like little fibers that I've just put that tape onto my trousers and then peeled it off, and it just makes the tape a little bit less sticky. I don't know if I've taped off enough, but there you can see it's picked up the little fibers of my trousers. So you can get low tack masking tape, which is good, really good. But if you only got ordinary masking tape, then yeah, just do that. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just running the tape along my trousers and take off that excess stickiness. And then what I do is I just run my finger down that edge there, just so that it's in place, but not too firmly. You know, I don't want it to rip my paper when I eventually peel it off. So I'm just measuring and then taking off the excess stickiness. Very low tech, but quite effective. Okay, just rub that down gently so that it's sealed against the paper. And then the last little bit going on. Okay, right, so now I'm ready to paint. Let's just set that aside. So I'm going to choose some sort of really nice dark greens. I've got a color called Perylene Green here, and I'm going to mix up a large amount of that. I want my colors to be quite strong. Okay, just rinse my brush off, and then I've got a sort of a very vibrant green here. I think this is Viridian Green. Yeah, quite a vibrant green. I wouldn't necessarily always use this straight out the tube. If I was painting, I'd probably just mix it with a little bit of something else just to tone it down. But for what we want to do today, this is a really nice color. You can choose whatever colors you want. You can choose purples, blues, anything like that. And then I'm just going to mix a little bit of that to make a really nice vibrant green. This is going to be a bit of an abstract sky. If you think northern lights, those sort of colors, really nice. And then I think I'm just going to mix an indigo blue as well. So yeah, that's nice. Okay, so you can see I've mixed quite a lot of paint here. I don't want my paint too wishy-washy because I want nice strong colors, and remember your paint dries a lot lighter, so I actually need some more yellow there. I've run out. Let's just squib a bit more. So if you watched my previous little broadcast video, you'll see that I buy tubes of paint and just squeeze them out and make my own little pans, if you will. Okay, so my paint's all ready to go. So I'm going to rinse my brush in my dirty water, and then with my clean water, nice clean water, I'm going to wet this whole area of painting. Okay, so I know you probably won't be able to see where the water's going, but I'm just putting that water all over I'm really working it into the paper. I've got about a 300-gram paper here, which is quite nice and thick. It's not going to buckle too much when I wet it. And I want to work the fibers, I want to work the water really well into the fibers of the paper. Okay, and then I just let that settle for a little bit, just until the gloss has gone off the water. I don't know if you can see on the video, I'm not sure what it's picking up, but you want to have a nice sheen on your paper rather than too much gloss, okay? Because then when you're ready to paint, the sheen is on the paper from the water. That water will pull that paint into the paper and you'll end up with nice effects. Okay, so I'm just going to start with my bright green. It's quite lurid, but I think that's going to look quite nice. And I'm just loading up my brush with quite a bit of paint. My paper's nice and wet, and I'm just going to continue this green down a little bit over here. Each time I go to pick up more paint, I'm not putting my brush back in the water because I don't want to thin my paint too much. Let's get that nice. Okay, I've left a little bit of pale white in the center here. Okay, let's pick up some more of this vibrant green here, this more sort of viridian green, and then I'm just going to drop that into the rest of the areas around this lighter green. Okay, I'm not scrubbing the paint onto the paper, it's just very gentle. I'm just letting the paint flow off the brush onto the paper, and my paint will blend itself. I'm not going to worry too much about the, trying to get it too perfect. I just want it to be very loose, very free, and let those colors blend themselves. I'm going in here with a little bit of the Perylene green. It's really dark green, and I'm just going to drop a little bit of that in as well. As this dries, it will change and look quite different, picking up a little bit of the blue. And here's where I want to get these colors nice and strong. I'm actually going to mix up a little bit more of that. So I really want to saturate my paint with a lot of color. My water. I'll saturate my water with a lot of color so you can see how strong the colors are. And I think this is more effective if you just have nice strong colors going on here. It's just a little bit here. I'm going to leave it just a little bit paler down at the bottom because all will become clear in a minute. Okay. Doesn't look like much at the moment, but you'll soon see where we're going with this. I'm going to just bring a little bit of this dark blue across here. Okay, so my paper's still wet, my paint's still quite wet. And while it's still wet, I'm going to take a penny. I think that's about the right size. And I'm going to just wrap some tissue around my penny, okay, so that I have a little circular area there. While this is still wet, I'm going to take that penny and just press it onto the paper and lift out a circle highlight there. Okay. The harder you press down and the longer you press down, the more paint it will lift off, okay? And also it will be more effective if you have more paint on there, okay? Might just see, I don't think it'll lift off anymore. Yeah, that'll do for now, okay. And then very carefully with a smaller brush and a little bit of a thinner wash of paint, I'm just going to add a little bit of water. You can see how I just pull out what I need. I don't put a whole lot of water back into that puddle. I just pull out a little bit here and then this is going to be a night sky with a forest, and this is the moon. Okay, so I'm just adding the little moon textures there. Okay, now we need to wait for that to dry. So I'm not going to make you watch this video while it dries. So here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, so this is all nice and dry now. I've got my little moon shape that I lifted out there, and I'm ready to carry on with the rest of the painting. So with my smaller brush, I'm going to add my trees at the bottom here. Okay, so I've got some indigo blue and a little bit of this dark green. If you don't have the dark green, then you can just, whatever green you've got, you can add blue to that, a dark blue to your green to make it darker, or you can mix from your basic colors. You can mix French ultramarine blue and indigo blue, always a handy color to have. Okay, and a little bit of burnt umber, and you'll get like quite a dark blue. That's very similar. Okay, so with my fine brush, I'm just going to go in and put my forest in now. So just a guideline of a center trunk, and then my foliage coming off of that. Okay, and then maybe I'll just put a few fainter trees in, so a little bit more water into my color, and just get a few trees in behind that one. So it's nice just to have a variety of stronger color and then paler trees. It gives a little bit more depth. Okay, so it's very easy. You don't have to be experienced artist to do this. Anybody can do this. You know, it makes a nice gift for someone maybe, or as I say, if you just want to do a little quick bit of painting, it just makes it really fun little quick project to do. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Let's have a little gap, and then we'll put another tree in. Okay, so very easy, very quick. As I say, you don't have to have any special skills to do this. Anyone can do this. I don't know, are there any people that still read actual books? I'm sure there are. Right, so for the stars in my night sky and my galaxy, I've got some Winsor & Newton Designers gouache. So this is a permanent white, and it's very thick and opaque, so it's going to cover you know, the watercolor paint. It's going to show up quite well. I'm actually just going to squeeze the tube a little bit. Sometimes if you haven't used a paint for a long time, the fillers sort of separate a little bit and it comes out a bit watery, so just give that a little squeeze. And let's just see. Yeah, I'm gonna just squeeze a bit out there. Okay, there we go. I don't know if you can see that on my palette, but it's quite thick. It's almost like an acrylic. You can use acrylic if you don't have designer's gouache. I never quite know how to say that word. It is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Okay, and then I'm going to just wet that down a little bit, add a little bit of water to that, just so it's a little bit thinner. Okay, and then you might want to practice this on a little separate piece of paper first, but basically to get the stars, to get them quite a natural look, I'm going to just tap my brush against my finger, just very gently, and that's then giving me that starry effect in that sky. And it's going all over the table, so if you doing this at home, you might not want to you might want to just put some thing over there. I'm not happy with those ones, so I'm just going to lift them out a little bit. And then, yeah, just very gently tapping. Yeah, the wetter the paint, the more easier it is to get those stars on there, but just go very gently. Okay. Okay. And then I might just take my fine brush again. Clean fine brush. And let's just have a little shooting star. A couple of those. Because this is a little fantasy landscape, it doesn't have to be real. And then maybe just a couple of shiny, bright stars. Okay, so that's it. There you have it. And then hopefully this hasn't bled out underneath my masking tape. When I take my masking tape off, I want to go really careful and peel it away from my painting. The longer you leave your masking tape on, the more it will become sticky and actually rip your paper. This has been on a couple of days and it is actually pulling up my paper around here, but luckily it's not doing that into my painting because I'm pulling it away from the painting. Yeah, have a little practice with your stars before you actually do your bookmark, because you know the splattering is a little bit out of control. So have a little practice, but there you go. Little Starry Night bookmark, or you can cut that out, you can put it in a frame, or you could just punch a little hole in the top, tie some ribbon round and give it as a gift to somebody. So yeah, just something really easy, quick and fun to do. And yeah, give you a little practice. Every time you paint, you have an opportunity to learn something, and that's the way we get better. We need to paint to actually improve. So there you go. Okay, and you can do that in all different colors. Purples are nice, blues, even pinks. You could put some magenta pink in there or anything like that and just have fun with it. Okay, so that's all for today. Happy painting. See you next time.